In this video, we are traveling to a truly otherworldly southwestern landscape to experience daybreak in the desert. I will also be sharing the 3 shots I always take to tell the unique story of every sunrise. My name is Kemper Simpich. For the past 14 years, I have been honing my photography craft in the mountains of Colorado and the American West. Join myself and my brother Toby as we explore, photograph, and enjoy the art of the natural world through landscape photography.
Okay, number 1 landscape photography tip. You gotta have the bucks with you. The sirens call just like the call of the landscapes. You gotta make sure it's not distracting you from a distance.
I don't have one. I have a green monster somewhere in the back, but we can't find it, so I'm caffeineless this morning.
We are truly off-road at the moment. There's nothing here.
I'm actually getting kind of excited to go out and see what the shot's going to look like. I think it could look cool.
Our vision is climbing up on top of these things. A summit bid-like thing to worry about. Look at him. Look at him go. Look at him go. Wait, Kemper. You forgot your camera.
I'm coming back for it. No, it's going to be great. So now I'm going to go get my camera. Located just outside of Hanksville, Utah, Factory Butte is one of the most intimidating and truly unique formations that I've ever seen. Towering over the landscape, you can see this thing for miles as you're driving up to it. I was really excited to try to shoot an amazing sunrise at this location. Clouds sitting on the horizon at sunrise is one of the biggest plagues for a landscape photographer. So common too. Like everything's super, the conditions are great. There's a cloud behind Factory Butte. Sun has to just get above that. Low clouds sitting on the horizon. So this is the first of our 3 shots that I capture at sunrise, and I call it the Moody Pre-Dawn Shot, or just the Moody shot. And I always start here before the sun has officially risen because there's so many cool things about this time that I love capturing. As you can see, deep blues and purples and pinks are all kind of on display in the image. And, you know, there's not a direct light source. Everything's diffused and you can kind of feel the mood before the sunrise. You know, there's indications that sunrise is coming. You can see some light in the clouds up above. But I just feel like this is a great opportunity to explore the textures. I wonder if that thing's been climbed. I mean, I'm sure it has, but I'm sure it's also an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, either that or there's just an angle. There's like a spot that's just weirdly easy.
I don't know, dude. I looked at it on Google Maps. Like, it's pretty much like this all the way around. I mean, I'm sure someone's done it. Like, but it's gonna be like
it's the lower cliff.
Yeah.
That would really get me questioning things.
I'm wondering if we're gonna get it. Because the sun is above the thicker bank, but this is still diffusing it this much. It's just reflecting off the top of it.
I mean, that's still pretty bright, even on us.
Right. Give it a few more minutes. But I'm starting to question. Yeah, this is what we're getting. I think this is what we're getting. It's not bad. The second shot that I always get when I photograph a sunrise is what I call the moment of light. And that is when the first light hits your subject. Sometimes it's just a little tiny sliver. Sometimes it's a spotlight. And on this particular morning, we had quite a few clouds on the horizon. So it was a little diffused. We had to be a little patient. So that moment of light actually didn't happen right at the moment of sunrise. It was like 5 or 6 minutes after sunrise. But even still, it spotlights this southeast face of Factory Butte and, more contrast. Definitely this moment of light is all about contrast and the relationship of light as it falls across your subject. It tends to be, we call the Moody shot before drama, but this is definitely drama as well. As there you have the sharp contrast between the light hitting this face and other side of the butte that's still in the darkness. So it's all about contrast and bright light hitting the subject.
Oh, the sun creates so much more texture up on the butte. Oh wow, very cool. It's got a chill in the air up here on this little mound. It's beautiful.
And the third shot that I always try to capture at sunrise, I call full morning brilliance. And normally this shot happens a few minutes after sunrise. It can range in the amount of time it takes after sunrise, but really what I'm capturing and what I'm focused on is the light filling in the whole scene. So you have more light and it's revealed this landscape. It's not as obviously the first moment that light is hitting the subject. We have more light, more sun, but you can still explore this landscape. Now, in this particular shot, we still have a ton of contrast, even as the light fills in the landscape. That's what I love about shots like this, is that it just fills in the landscape, but there's still lots of contrast, lots for your eyes to really take in and think about. So now I'm going to take some time to showcase some other images that I've taken during sunrise that capture these different sequences, so you can see how approaching every sunrise with this in mind, getting that Moody Pre-Dawn shot, the moment of light that it first hits your subject, and then the full morning brilliance. If you kind of approach your sunrise with that in mind, you just get a variety of images. So the first of the Moody Pre-Dawn images that I want to show is this shot of Mount Rainier. And honestly, this might be one of my favorite Moody Pre-Dawn images I've ever taken. I was visiting Mount Rainier National Park with my wife. We were on our baby moon, and we got up super early in the morning and absolutely zoomed up the road to get to this lookout location, which we'd actually scouted the night before. Everything that I love about a Moody Pre-Dawn shot is on display here. You have the light coming in on the right side. You can tell the sunrise is coming. You have the blues, purples kind of showing. I really love this green detail right here of this green slope. That's so Washington State. I also love the clouds lingering around on kind of close to the summit. There's just so much about this shot that I love, and it really personifies that Moody Pre-Dawn shot. The other shot that I wanted to show was this one of Zion National Park. This one was probably really just a couple minutes before sunrise really hit. And as you can tell, the sun is hitting the clouds up above and kind of turning them pink and just making this pink, like cotton candy sunrise in Zion National Park. This is another one of my favorites, and it goes to show that like getting there, getting set up well ahead of sunrise so that you can capture some of these moody shots, I guarantee you they're going to be some of your favorites of the day. So now I want to show some examples of that moment of light. This one is one of my favorite examples of it that I've ever taken. We really thought we were washed up this morning shooting the Maroon Bells. It was cloudy, it was tumultuous, and we were like, there's not going to be a sunrise. Right at sunrise, a ray of light shot through these moody clouds and hit the Maroon Bells with this red-orange light. And this is what you go and shoot sunrise for. This is why you get up, is to capture these dramatic moments. And that's really what the moment of light, it's all about the drama. Here's another example of the first light hitting the summit of this is Mears Peak down in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado. And that contrast, that moment, you really feel with the moment of light that you are capturing a unique singular moment because your brain knows that this doesn't happen very long. All right, so now some examples of what I'm calling full morning brilliance. So essentially, it's just the opposite of, getting there early for the Moody shot. Stay later and see how the light fills in the scene. This one is probably one of my favorite examples in Grand Teton National Park, Schwabacher's Landing. It's an iconic place. This was not right at sunrise, right? There was a moment earlier where the light would first hit the summit. You have that drama, but as the sun rises, the light fills in and touches the landscape. And really what the value here is that it's allowing time to let more light into the scene and it's showcasing more elements. So it's not quite as contrasty, although this shot of Mount Whitney still has plenty of contrast, but it's balanced. Almost as many elements that are in shadow are also being lit, so there's more balance to the scene. Another real example that I really like is this of the Crestone Needle. This was probably a half hour after sunrise. And I like this example of this morning brilliance because if you looked at this image, you don't immediately think sunrise, but you're only really going to capture this image within 20, 30, maybe an hour of sunrise sometimes, depending on the time of year. But really, that 20, 30 minutes after sunrise, where you still have the light low enough in the sky that you have contrasting elements. It's not just harsh light, but you don't look at this image and think, oh, this was a sunrise image. And that's what I like about that full morning brilliance is that you're capturing the place. I think there's more of a sense of place in these images, and it's not as obvious a single moment in time as it is a showcase of the place that you're photographing. Now, all of these, examples, it kind of shows this narrative, but there's another practical reason that I take these three shots. It's that I don't always get all three, as in all three don't always turn out. Now, these Factory Butte shots, I really love this sequence because it's a real narrative. If you look at all three images together, you can see the Moody Pre-Dawn, the moment the light hits the butte, and then it fills in the landscape around it. A lot of times, that's not at all what happened. So I'm going to show a couple examples. This first one is from West Maroon Pass near Aspen, and had a fantastic, moody, classic early shot, before the dawn with the pink light hitting this cloud up above the mountain. And then, a couple minutes later, I have the moment of light. You can see the light hitting the peak and you can see this like touch of light on it. And I feel like this is a quintessential moment of light. Now, the full morning brilliance, it didn't really develop. Like these clouds kind of sank down into rain clouds and it didn't really do anything. So the next example is even maybe more relevant because here's the Moody shot, which was, it has everything that you want in the Moody shot. The diffused light is making the aspen trees absolutely pop. It's dramatic, but you can also see there's a lot of clouds. So we photographed the sunrise at the Maroon Bells and, it didn't really change from this even past sunrise, but we stuck around and this happened. And this is once again, that full morning brilliance. You can see these misty clouds burning off, on the summit of the mountains. And then, you getting the glow of the aspens. And this to me is why you really keep this process of shooting these three images in mind, and sticking around at a location for, this is probably a half hour. We hung around for a half hour because we just wanted to see what was going to happen. The clouds were moving enough that it was like, I don't think it's just going to be socked in and cloudy all day. And I got this amazing, what I would call morning brilliance shot. Literally the night before this Factory Butte sunrise, we were over at the Dark Spire in Utah. So I've kind of talked about this being my workflow for photographing a sunrise. And you would assume that this would be a similar format for photographing sunset, just in reverse, where you have the more brilliant shot first, then you have that last moment of light, right? And then it would move into the moody shot. And your would be largely correct. But I don't always feel like I do the exact same thing with sunset. And, there's a couple of reasons for why. With sunset, because it's later in the day, I mean, it's literally the end of the day, there has been a lot more weather. The temperature has changed a lot more previously. So you tend to have more drama in the sky. I feel like more consistently when I am photographing a sunset, I am focused and more thinking about what the sky is doing rather than light coming into the scene. But perhaps maybe more importantly is that as a photographer, your experience is a little different with light entering the scene, beginning the day, first light on a subject, than it is with it leaving. I kind of keep this sequence in mind when photographing a sunset, but I don't always stick to it as rigidly as I do with sunrise. Thank you so much for watching this video. We actually just recently published a full video of the adventure of photographing that sunset at the Spire. And if you would like another example of me photographing a sunrise and getting that same sequence that you can now recognize is going to be prevalent in all of my work, then definitely check out our video where we photographed canyonlands from Dead Horse Point. All of these videos are from a recent trip to Utah, and this is the last of that series, but definitely subscribe because we've got some amazing stuff coming from our landscape adventures in Colorado, Utah, and really the entire American West.